Audio Jungle.
Hey, welcome back to Evil's Comics. I'm Evil Mike, and this is another comic review for you. This is, let me make sure I get this right, from Temorrow Comics. This is Punchline in the Vaude Villians. Number 1, this is done by Ted Sikora, and I know I'm going to get the artist name wrong, but it's Donny Hadiwidjaja. I know there's no, I'm sorry. We will get to the artist though, because it, one of the highlights of this book is the art. I really loved the art throughout this book. First off, getting off topic, the book is just amazing. For reference, this is the same writer to this comic, just different art. And it the reason I'm kind of pulling that up for the uninitiated, but what Ted's doing here, this is amazing. It's not like it's not been done before, but what he's doing is like a shared universe. Bloom fits into this as far as 2 other books that I'm aware of, which is Tap Dance Killers, and if you give me a second, I will really give you a point of reference, because there's reasons for it, and honestly I will be on the hunt to try and track down Tap Dance Killer, and the other book is, and I'm probably gonna say this wrong, I apologize, but Apama, and it's Apama the Undiscovered Animal. Now all these characters and stuff, that's a Tap Dance Killer over here, and this is different issues from Apama, and I think it says Tap Dance Killer is 1 through 5, and it looks like they do sell it in a trade paperback form. I know you can go to herotomorrow.com and you can find all these available. Ted, I know you can specifically reach out to Ted. He probably doesn't like that, he's probably really busy, but I know he's active on Instagram. But I'm if this book or the other book or any of these books sound very interesting to you, please check him out. He's doing a Kickstarter right now, and I'm pretty sure he'll take any of the help he can get. If y'all don't know, my cards are usually, I can't use my card. My card is usually tapped out. I usually am cash, and that's just current. It's not forever. But I'm still trying to get through things, from the past year that happened. I'm not broke by any means. I mean, y'all see my comic book pickup and stuff like that, but I usually don't have the ability to buy online. I kind of mentioned this before, but maybe for some new viewers out there, or I just don't have the ability to be able to go on eBay or like Kickstarters and stuff like that. It's something that I mean, if you can get on a Kickstarter, it's the best way to go, because you get exclusive chances at variants. I mean, man, I love Bloom, and there's no lie. I have no ties to Ted. He is nice enough, and he did, as far as he did check out my review, and that's all I need. But I mean, there is some exclusives, like, man, that this cover right here, and it's like a I don't know how you put it. It's a cosplay cover. Certain stuff like that, I think you can only get from going to herotomorrow.com or doing the Kickstarter and stuff like that. I usually don't have the ability to do that, like ratios and stuff like that. Y'all know Evil doesn't have that kind of money. I spend a lot of money on comics as it is. I'm already at a top dollar for this week alone. So long drawn out spiel. So basically, in this shared universe, and I'm really enjoying it, but supposedly it's kind of like, I don't know how to put it. In Bloom, they, the artist, the comic book artist, is putting these markings on, and I'm drawing a name, blank in her name. Of course, I'm bad with names, but Lilith is her villain name, but we're just gonna call her Lilith. But when they put the markings on it, it's like she becomes Lilith. I haven't read issue 2, but I kind of have a feeling that's where it's gonna go. And this book particularly, it's kind of the same thing, because Ted, being an amazing writer, he does a really good job of catching you up to everything that's happened. And me jumping onto the story and anybody else, this is kind of like maybe a part 4 in the story, because really, you know, we were supposed to be reading the Apama and Tap Dance Killer books. Now, I was not aware of those books until, you know, I ran into Ted Secure's interview. And I've actually watched 2 of them now. But after learning about these, I was intrigued and wanted to go back. So that's what I've been doing. I found Bloom first, and now I found this, and as soon as I can track down the other ones. But he does an excellent and amazing job of catching you up, you know, with who, for one, the Vaude Villains are, because the Vaude Villains are a group, and they kind of show you all the members here, and they name out. I love when covers do that. But we got Tap Dance Killer, and she's the kind of, I wouldn't say leader, but she's the leader of the Vaude Villains. Then you got Fletcher, and he's kind of like the mad scientist. You got Sir Tara, and he's really the leader, but she's kind of the face, I guess you can say. Then you got Hurricane Lizzie, and she's kind of like your wild card. Uzi Clown, and Uzi Clown is a weapons specialist, and then you have Punchline right here, and he is kind of like the muscle. They are a criminal or villain group, and it's stated, I mean, so far in his shared universe, it's all in Cleveland. So this does take place in Cleveland, and in this area of Cleveland, I want to imagine it has to take place around the same time, because Bloom was in the 60s, I think. So maybe at this time in Cleveland, they just were having a lot of riots, and the mob was kind of running amok. Because he goes into this whole backstory that the Vaude Villains are kind of like, they are trying to become this like really well-known and for good reason, you know, high-ranking villain group. I mean, for murder and thievery and stuff like that, you know, high-ranking. So they are fighting all these mobsters and taking them out and stuff like that. But that's kind of all the backstory. But then the story starts out, and it starts out with this man here. And this is Tap Dance Killer's real father, and he kind of goes into a little detail about, like, you know, who Tap Dance Killer was, about how she was in the theater and musicals, and she actually took a theater play, and it's called Nothing Like Vaudeville, and I guess that's where the Vaude Villains got their, you know, part of their name from. He gets abducted and then wakes up with the Vaude Villains. We are introduced to every single one of them and kind of given a little brief summary, because I think in Tap Dance Killer, he might already had runnings in with them. They do reference Tap Dance Killer, not a lot, but enough where it makes you want to go check out what had happened in Tap Dance Killer, but it also keeps you current with what's going on now. Like the reason they're abducting him, and it has reasons to do with stuff that happened in Tap Dance Killer. But like a good writer, he's keeping us up, and he's not using a whole bunch of editor's notes and stuff like that. So it's kind of neat. But we do get a whole rundown of the Vaude Villains, like I said, and the little backstories and stuff like that. Each one of them actually sound interesting. Like Hurricane Lizzie, she was basically like experimented on, and she was supposed to, she had cerebral palsy, and they were trying to cure her, and in the process of trying to cure her, they gave her like superhuman strength. I'm not sure if they stated if they cured her cerebral palsy. I don't think so, but it just kind of goes with her Hurricane Lizzie thing. Fletcher is the guy that, like I said, he's kind of like the mad scientist. He's the one that experimented on Lizzie. He is also the part of the origin story with Punchline, but we'll get there. Tap Dance Killer, I don't know if they really went into what she can do or who she is. I think it's the only kind of person. Sir Terror, he's just kind of like the mastermind, and they don't really say what he can do. He is like, he looks all silver. He looks pimp. Right here, kind of like if Silver Surfer were African American and had a suit on, is what I don't know. He kind of looks cool. All of them actually look cool. Okay, now Uzi Clown is supposed to be like the weapons specialist. He's the one that knocks out the guy. He talks like a clown, and it's hard to imagine because there's no sound effects or anything. But when I was thinking about this, I was just kind of imagining like Bozo the Clown or something like that. So like his conversation piece is like, sorry for the widow sting on the neck. It won't It won't even leave a mark. And I was like, "Ooh, sorry for that little sting on the neck. It won't even leave a mark." You know, type of voice. And I don't know. Their whole group. The design and everything behind the villains is really good. Especially, I mean, same thing with Bloom. I am really interested in the shared universe. It was one of the things I mentioned in the beginning of the video. Is he does a very excellent job with the whole, like, the heroes and the villains and the world. I'm interested in this. It's very intriguing because they finally go into, like, Punchline and who Punchline is, and basically he's the muscle, and they go into the story about how he, like, died and in the process, and he was a heavyweight, like, boxer, and he was, like, top in the world, and eventually he gets exited out as a boxer because of this whole steroid scandal. But it has to do with, like, his, like, I forget who it is, but it has something to do with, like, his coroner and some other stuff. But they made it seem like he was using steroids. He never did, but they just had it pop up in his autopsy report. In the process, I think he runs into this Fletcher guy, the mad scientist, and he's experimented on, and he comes out with superhuman powers, and he's already, like, you know, Mike Tyson level badass boxer. And somehow he just runs into the Vaude Villians along the way. I'm pretty sure through Fletcher. In the very beginning of the story, back when her tap dance killer's dad was kidnapped, we are also informed that they had kidnapped his mother, or his wife, but her mother. And he didn't know where she was. There's kind of like that's kind of like in that opening scene, that's what he's going through. We do see here, and we see some tap dance, you know, some Punchline there, but we also see here that that's his mom, you know, his wife and her mom, and they have her here, and it's really, they tell him it's out of protection from the other mobsters and everything that's going down. But we found out that it looks like she was drugged and she's gone crazy or something like that, because she's not making any kind of sense. You know, her husband's like, "Oh my God, it's so good to see you." At the same time, for me, this was my first introduction to the hero that is Apama. And I'm going to have to read, because I'm definitely not going to remember his name. But his name was Lya Jarsky. And I know I mispronounced that because it looks Russian or something, like maybe Jewish or something like that. I apologize. I'm not. But I mean, he does have a mullet. He's right there in the ice cream truck, and they kind of go in, like, briefly what he's doing. And supposedly he's like a struggling hero. He is the Apama, and it says he discovered the ancient mythical creature named Apama, and now he has by taking a pose or something like that, he gains the power of this mythical unknown beast. And if you've seen my review in Bloom, they do mention this whole battle of the beast and how this Apama, this unknown mythical beast, it eventually, like, snuck out and took the championship. So it achieved some kind of, like, ultimate power by doing that, and somehow he's able to channel this power and use the powers of Apama. So this is our hero right here, and they show him right here. You know, kind of like in the book, because they're kind of doing his origin story. They do also touch on Lilith from Bloom, and she is right here. And I have not read issue 2, but they kind of hint here that, because if I'm not mistaken, this came out in June, and I think Bloom came out around the same time, so I don't remember which was released first. But if I'm not mistaken, at the end of the first issue, it doesn't really paint her as a villain yet. You just kind of get the sense. But right here, it kind of states that you know, she might be on that villain path. That it looks like she's kind of one of the main villains to Apama, and maybe the Vaude Villians as well. We get to one of my favorite parts of the books. I didn't even know this was going to have anything like this. Kudos, 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 because we find out one of Apama's powers. And Apama is able to talk to, like, animals and real conversations, and they can talk to him, and he's talking to this, like, pigeon. And it's like one of the funniest conversations in the book. But he's basically getting intel about this underhand dealing that is going down with the lobsters or whatever. At the same time, we find out you know, a little more about, like, Punchline and Tap Dance Killer, who they are, and it's kind of interesting. They talk about, like, going out and, you know, to a movie or going out to dinner, and it's kind of fun. You know, I kind of like didn't realize, but I mean they are always in like face paint and stuff like that, so it just didn't connect. Like, oh yeah, they can take off their villain persona and nobody knows who they are. But it's kind of like one of those conversations where they're trying to get away from the in the moment villain type thing, what they're going to do about her mom, his dad, you know, kind of discussing stuff to come. We do end up here with this, and I love this story. I'm not remembering either of their names, but right here we start this story at this underground like casino type place, and it is with this guy named Abe and his wife, and they are out on the town. I think his wife is named Andrea. They're out in the town. They decided to go to this underworld casino, and it is this just whole scene about like, you know, how she's, you know, been getting older, but her spirit and everything has just kept going, and she's, you know, been living this wild and crazy life, and as she's gotten older, it's taken this, you know, turn as far as like she's doing more immorally wrong things, and it's led to like thievery and underhanded stuff. And Abe, you know, because it's kind of through Abe's perspective, but Abe is kind of at the point where he loves his wife and everything, but because of the turn she's taken along the years and due to a heart attack, he's struggling and keeping up, and he's kind of getting tired and weighed down and everything. And in the process of them, and it's some kind of casino, and they don't really go into what. It's another one of those moments, but she's trying to win some prize, and if you get a score that's high enough, you qualify to win this ultimate prize or something like that. Now we do see the prize, but Punchline breaks in. You know, the Vaude Villains are like, I guess, hired to beat down this you know, this casino that's going on because it's some mobsters or something that they're up against. So he goes in there and he just wreaks havoc. I mean, we get to see Punchline in his super strength glory, because it says, I mean, they stated that his main power is he's got super strength. He is strong enough where he can lift cars easily. So I mean, you know, he's just punching people and, you know, their heads are going. But we do get to like one of the best parts of this issue, and it's also like a sad moment, but also like when you're reading it, you know, it wouldn't be really that sad if you think about it. It's actually like a great moment. But you see poor old Abe over here, man, and he has, you know, and Punchline's going crazy, and he picks up this vending, you know, one of the casino slots machines, and he throws it towards Abe, and, you know, Abe, we're hearing his thoughts and everything. He's like, man, I got this chance to get out of the way, but that's not how I see it. It's time, buddy. I'm ready to go. You know, and he has this chance. He even tells you, he's like, man, I really hope my life didn't flash behind, you know, but in front of my eyes. You know, I made mistakes. He was like, I don't need to see it replayed. You know, he was like, I'm just ready to go. And sure enough, and he sees it going out in a really cool fashion, and he kind of states that maybe he didn't have the greatest of lives to begin with. And he's happy to, you know, check out. We do see that, you know, that the Vaude Villains, and we see Uzi Clown and Punchline making it through like the underbelly, because I think this is on a ship where the casino is being held. So they are on the ship, and they're looking for something that they keep mentioning, and they eventually grab this guy, and they're taking him to go find out what the prize was, and it's some sort of royalty. They show it right here. It's like, it looks like a brother and a sister, or a man and wife, or something like that. It is a man and woman, and they're tied up and chained, and all that is said that something towards royalty. So it could be like a prince and a princess, or a king and a queen. We don't know. At the same time, we got, you know, Mr. Hero, Apama, and he shows up, and he has taken out. He has mentioned that he has taken out Uzi Clown, and he is ready to get this one-on-one with Punchline. That is basically it of the first issue, and it says, don't miss next ish for the Seatown Throwdown, the Erie Lake Earthquake, and the War on the Freaking Shore. Yeah, that's what it says. You know, he gives letterings, he gives ways to reach out to him. He talks a lot about in great detail, which I want to very much thank you. It was very nice to see this. He also has like 2 different contests. I don't know if they're still ongoing, but if they are, you might want to check into that. And again, that last page with the Apama, Tap Dance Killer, and of course Bloom. Bloom has 2 issues out right now. I think the 3rd one comes out in September. Punchline, the Vaude Villains. This is still in the LCS. I was able to get that at my LCS. I didn't have to go online and buy it, so it should be widely available. I don't know, I mean, it might be sold out, but it should be something easily found on eBay. I mentioned heroestomorrow.com. Go check that out. The only thing I can't really say is I don't know when the next issue comes out. You know, I have not seen any talk about a Vaude. Yeah, I thought this was a one-shot. So I'm hoping it's not, because I really, really love this book. I mean, the art was amazing, the pacing of the story. Ted's writing, he's slowly becoming one of my new favorite writers. I am really looking forward to read the next issue of Bloom and anything else I can grab from him. But that is my review on Punchline and the Vaude Villains #1. Please, you know, like, comment, subscribe, check out everything that I mentioned. You know, if you're interested in this book or Bloom, you know, there's ways to get it. If not, reach out to me and I might be able to hook you up. I would like to say I've had him here the whole time, but it's my old friend, Mr. Possible Award that I could win for something. If you check out cbsawards.com, I think it is. Sorry, but I'll put a link down below. There's still time to vote on your favorite, you know, YouTuber, reviewer, you know, there's all different kind of categories. Y'all go check it out. I just need to keep bringing that up, that those awards are out there and you need to go vote. Don't just vote for me. This isn't a plug, but vote for, you know, your boy Evil Mike too. But yeah, I want an award. You know, I mean, it'd be so nice to have an award, and you know, and man, I'd showcase the shit out of that sucker. I tell you what. That's all I got for now. I got a couple more reviews coming. I'll put Mr. Luffy back right then. We will see him again, I promise you. But y'all have a great night. I'll see y'all soon. Bye.